Hey guys, it's Krystal Lucier here, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Krystal Lee Moore. This is Realtor Life, a fun and entertaining look at life in the trenches as a realtor or entrepreneur in Ontario. And I'm so excited. We have Mackenzie Gosselin from Merlot Moon Marketing back again. She is our second time guest, but she's here to talk about some very, very exciting things that are happening. Welcome, Mackenzie.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here again.
Oh, very pumped. So, Mackenzie, we are just luckily, we talk all the time, but we were just talking about your latest social campaign with Merlot Moon. Why don't you just tell us all about it? I'm really excited.
Yeah, so our company, Merlot Moon Marketing, has decided to launch a social campaign. So we've titled it Be Bold. So we kind of just did our launch party. I think beginning of April was our launch party. So that was super fun. We had lots of local business owners come and join us. And the social campaign Be Bold is in support of the London Abused Women's Center. So all of the proceeds of this campaign are going towards those guys. And the idea really is twofold. It's about raising funds for the center to do what they need and support the women that are coming through their doors. And it's about also doing more than that and more than just cutting the check, but being able to build the social campaign that raises the awareness and kind of acts as a community for people who are looking to be bold, step out, make their own money, and really tap into a network that supports them in doing that and encourages them and kind of gives them the spirit to want to do it. So that's what the Be Bold is. And I'm so
That
excited to
is
be able to talk
amazing.
about it today.
Oh, I'm so excited. So, um, let's go step by step. So, first of all, so what made you even think that this was an option to go and turn something like you obviously your baby is Merlot Moon marketing. What made you think that you should take the business and really create an impactful kind of community, I guess project's the wrong word, but community campaign?
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part of like my journey as an entrepreneur is we talk a lot, like even in our networking groups, we talk a lot about the struggle of being a business owner. Like people see the glam and the social media posts, especially in my industry, and it really highlights your best life. And sometimes it's not really the nitty-gritty truth of entrepreneurship, right? Like the truth of entrepreneurship is a lot of tears, it's a lot of late nights, it's a lot of
Yeah.
self-doubt and wondering
Yep.
like what the heck you're doing, right? And if you're cut out for it. Lots of lonely nights, lots of, and I have a great circle of family, friends, people that support me, but they don't get it, right? And they're never really going to. So I think that's where my journey was headed. And I was like, well, why can't I be that person for someone else, right? I don't really feel that I've got that solid community. I'm trying to build it through my networking and whatnot. And I've done a great job at that and connecting with other people. But there were so many small problems that felt like the end of the world at the beginning of my
Yep.
journey. And I really wanted to create a community that supported other people entering entrepreneurship, right? So
Yes.
I kind of figured like how can I do what I'm doing and go through these ups and downs and these learning curves, but like make something good out of it and be
Yes.
that for someone else. So I really looked at kind of just different organizations that followed suit with my business and obviously I'm a female business owner, so the London Abused Women's Center was close and near and dear to my heart, just in that sense too. So I kind of spoke with them, and it just felt like a match made in heaven in terms of really just giving people the resources to do what they need to do, and whether it be get out of a domestic relationship and take that bold decision,
Yep.
or take the bold decision to leave the corporate world and start your own business and
Yep.
get freedom, right? So be bold is really about being bold no matter what that looks like to you, and kind of just leaning into freedom and the success that that brings, but also talking about the hardship as we go through it, right? So
Yes.
that's kind of how I segued. I really just had all this energy about entrepreneurship. So yes, I'm passionate about marketing. Yes, I'm passionate about what we do for our clients. But a big part of like my pillar as a business owner and the content that I even post
Yep.
is about empowering other business owners. It's about, hey, when I think the post that just went out last week was about, most people quit right in the middle. Like most people quit when it gets really hard. So how
Yep.
do we create a community that taps into that piece so we don't have as many people quitting and giving up because it's hard? Like it's supposed to be hard,
Yep.
but you're supposed to have people that can support that, right? And get
100%.
you through the messy middle.
Yep, I actually referenced that post in my last podcast, and I did. It was really good. It was very timely, and there's actually a really cool story that the coaching company I'm part of, Buffini, talks about all the time, and it's called Acres of Diamonds. And most people do quit, and like the story that they had, this man quit like a foot before he found
Mhm.
oil on this farm, and it's like he tried and tried and tried. He gave up. The next person that bought it for a steal found it like immediately.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
And I think it's a journey that like goes in a circle, right? Like there's no finish line and end. And I think that
Yeah.
that's where a lot of business owners like and myself too slip up in the sense of you think that once you get there, you're going to have to reset, right? Like if you hit your goal, you're going to set a new goal, especially
Yeah.
if you're a driven person. So how do we like enjoy the win, but right? And
Hmm.
I'm still learning that in my own journey is like how do I like um at 25 years old sit here and go okay like I need to enjoy the win, like I need to enjoy the fact that I even started the business, right? But
Yep.
I'm well into well, what does this look like 5-10 years from now, right? So how do we encourage the small wins but also like do the full circle of okay now I'm setting these new goals and now I'm scared again, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm self-doubting again because
Yeah.
every new level like you're gonna feel like you're standing
Uncomfortable.
there
Yeah.
uncomfortable again, right? And
Yes.
it should be uncomfortable. And I think that's why people don't level up because they just stay comfortable and are scared of like learning things again. So
Yes.
part of the Be Bold initiative for me, it was really important to have different industries represented and different levels of success represented, right? Like new beginners, people who are just thinking about starting a business, people who have been at it for 20 something years, people who own multiple businesses. Like
Yeah.
we've got a pretty cool batch of people coming on as sponsors and as guests on the podcast. So, I mean, we can talk a little bit more about what that looks
I
like,
think,
but
yeah, that's actually, I was actually going to kind of launch into that. So you kind of where it started and what you're doing with it. So you have the
mhm,
Be Bold podcast, which is about a week out from filming.
mhm.
That's
So
exciting.
excited. We actually went and checked out the space today, which was really cool. So it felt real this morning. So yeah, I guess the backstory before I get into even the space is
Yeah.
because it is a not like non-for-profit and going to the London Abused Women's Center, we really wanted to make sure that like costs were covered, and that was a big thing for me. Is of course to be able to support it through Merlot Moon, and my company is a sponsor, which is great. But really be able to kind of tap into my network and say like, hey, I'm doing this cool thing, and again, talking about leveling up and the fear of it. I didn't know if people were going to be receptive to this, right? Like, I'm like, I've never
Yeah.
done a social campaign before. I've done a marketing company, but I've never done something like this.
Yeah.
It's new. It's new, right? And what's really cool is I was able to kind of look at clients, yourself being one of them, clients, friends, back and forth, right? And I
Yeah.
just kind of said, I'm doing this. And the amount of people that stepped up to the plate and said, like, we just believe in you. So, like, tell us more and we're in was
100%.
really, really humbling and really cool. So, within, I think, the first day of kind of reaching out to people, I had my 6 sponsors lined up.
Yeah.
And those sponsors came on to basically help with the production cost. So there are 6 kind of core sponsors for 3 months is where we're at right now. And they will be the first guests on the podcast. So they're coming in on April 25th to shoot.
Yep.
Um, and one of our sponsors specifically is they own a studio here in London, they're called She Studios. So nails, lashes, all the kind of beauty stuff. And they've actually donated one of their rooms to the podcast. So that's
So
where we're going to be
cool.
shooting. Yeah, it's really, really cool. And another one of our sponsors is a home stager. So she's coming on and she's staging the setup and everything. So
Yes.
it's been very cool to see people step up to the plate and donate their time, donate their services, and even donate some funds so that we can make this thing happen and really
Yeah.
sit down, hone in, and tell some cool stories of startup businesses, people in our community, and give that resource to people who are looking for whether it be motivation or tips and tricks or just like someone to talk to and
Yep.
bounce ideas off of. That's what this whole thing is for.
Amazing. And I do have to say, like in London, we have a great community, but even just leaning into the community, like I already knew, like Britt is the home stager, so I already
Mm-hmm.
know her, and not that I didn't know her before, but just knowing that we're both part of this, we're actually in the middle of a deal together right now.
That's
Um,
awesome.
right? And then She Studios, like I've been looking for a while for someone because there's a tattoo that I want, and I had reached out after meeting them, and especially after you told me that they do tattoos. So now you're saying, oh, it's at the podcast is at the studio. Maybe I'll get it right after.
Yeah.
So it's just supporting each other, right? And I think that's what I think the real secret of being an entrepreneur in a community is. It's the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah, and I think like one of the things that I will say like I feel like I did right and continue to really try to do is like build my network through actually just supporting other people. Like I don't feel like you need to necessarily do the deal first to then have the connection. I almost feel like
Exactly.
you need to have the connection first. And so for me it's really cool to be able to do a social campaign, and to your point,
Yeah.
it actually brings people together so business can
Yeah.
happen. But if we're
Yeah.
all there for like a common goal and we're all like-minded people, like we're gonna just, and we all own a business, we're all
Yeah.
gonna start to do business, right? And
Yes.
it becomes more organic and like more sustainable, right? Like these
Yeah.
are people that are top of mind for me when I think when someone needs a home stager, right? Because
Yep.
I'm communicating with Britt through and through for this Be Bold podcast. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's been really
Yeah.
cool to see. And I feel that I should definitely name all of our sponsors because
Yeah.
everybody's I mentioned Britt, our home stager. Yourself and Mina have come on as real estate agents to talk about your journey. I don't want to share too much about where we're going with your episode, but then we've got the girls at She Studios, Liv and Jess, who are supporting and giving us the space. They've also got permanent jewelry there happening right now. So I've got one. I think you've got one too. Yeah, so if you visit their studio and do want to get permanent jewelry, there's a Be Bold jewel specifically that some of the proceeds are going back
Yep.
um, to the campaign. And then we've got Brandy from Brandy Consulting, and she's coming on to talk about her journey, and a little bit of a teaser from she's coming from the corporate world and has completely gone into retreats and the self-care leadership field. So
Yeah.
she's got quite the cool story. She's actually commissioning a painting for the backdrop of the podcast, which I'm super excited to see and to show to everybody,
Yeah.
which will be the auction piece that I mentioned. And then we've got Craig from Blue Elephant Promotions, and he's coming on. He's the one that actually did the hoodies for us. So print promo, all of that kind of goodie
Love it.
stuff he does. Yeah, so I'm super excited for our lineup of people. Everybody's got really cool different stories and how they got started.
Yep.
And each of these sponsors, I'm so happy to like just vouch for their character and the sense of when I was picking them and deciding to build this team, like every single one of these people, I would be confident saying would take that phone call from a complete stranger that just wanted to start a business. Like there's not a single one of these people that I feel would turn that call down. And they're just all very passionate. I just got chills. But they're all very passionate about helping
Yes.
others and not just making money. And I think that that's why they make money, right? So
Yeah.
I'm confident. I'm so excited. Yeah.
I'm so excited for you, and just we're obviously excited to be part of it. But you mentioned the hoodie. Can you give us a little
Yes.
sample of the
So we have a little
hoodie?
hockey jersey back here, but this is the hoodie. So I don't know if you can see it. So Be Bold is at the front. Oh, they've got the early set. This one's the early set, but on the back, in the ones that are for sale, there's the Legend of Bees Women's Center is also on the back, so it's co-branded.
Wonderful.
This was one of the early like the testers that we got done, but the front is still the same. So yeah, they're pretty sharp. They're super cozy.
I just
We
realized
got
we
great
should both be
feedback
wearing
on
our
them.
hoodies for
I was just
for
thinking
this.
I should have worn mine too. Shoot.
Same.
Uh, but they're yeah, we're getting good feedback on them. They're really cozy. I like lived in mine for the
So
first month.
cozy.
So
Oh, they're
yeah.
very comfortable. And it also, I think the thing is like, and I mean, we do, for anyone that's followed kind of what we do in the community, we do these like networking, not working events. And the thing is like, the reason we do them the way we do, and the same thing with this, you're bringing people together who do business, but to do something for the community. And it's
Yeah.
not that people don't want to do something for the community. It's just sometimes you just either don't know how. You feel like alone you would be doing too little. So
Yeah.
combining everyone together and really just making a difference, like this is really cool. And I'm so just like blown away. And again, like just to reiterate for anyone that missed it the first time, Mackenzie is 25 years old. And that's a huge deal though. Like it's you started your business, and how old your business just had its what birthday? Second?
Second year, yeah, we're on to our third year of actually being Merlot Moon, but I did freelance for a year or two before. And I always
Yeah.
share that just because like I did gain experience in terms of like
Yes.
entrepreneurship doing that. But yeah, Merlot Moon is going on its third year. So
Amazing. And that's
yeah.
like and like how many entrepreneurs do you know in there? Because the first 5 years really is your
Yeah.
startup. how many people do you know are sitting there and like not just building and building very well, I might point out, but also with a view to really connect with the community and make a difference. It's
100%. And
oh,
I
so good.
did get like I would be remiss to say that I didn't get people go like you're not even at your 5 year mark, like this social campaign might be way too much. Like I definitely had close like friends, family just saying like this might be the thing that burns you out. I don't know. And I looked into that, but to me I was like this is the thing that fuels my fire. Like this is the thing that actually
That's
I
it.
think I launched it halfway in my halfway mark to my 5 year like
Yep.
5 years as a business owner. And I don't really know the statistics behind it, but everybody says I don't know if it's factual, but a lot of people say that it's 5 years is like if you've made it to 5 years, your business is going to succeed. If you don't make it to the five, like most people quit within that 5 year chunk. So that's definitely been on my mind. I'm at maybe the halfway mark to that. And so a lot of people were saying like this is going to be the thing that it's too much, and I kind of said no, I think I'm halfway. This is like maybe my 5 year midlife crisis of my
Yeah,
5 year business startup, and
100%.
I was like i I'm ready to do this because this is what's gonna get me to five
This is
years
the
is being
fuel.
able to
Yep.
this is the fuel, like this is the stuff that I will work the late hours for like all day every day
Yeah.
because it just fills my cup. So um yeah, and it again it I'm going back to my point about like these are the things that actually like grow my business and make me more connected to my clients and make me
Yeah.
like a better marketer too, right? Is to be able to like tell it's storytelling, right? Like
Yeah.
so I'm excited. I've wanted to do a podcast for a long time, but I never really like my original podcast idea, and I have the branding done for it, which is really funny. So this is a cool fact, but it was actually going to be called Nine to Wine. So for
I
business owners
remember
that like
this.
work 9 to 5, but nine to
Yeah.
wine with the play on the Merlot. And
Yeah.
I really wanted to launch it, but there was just something missing, and it just was going to be more about like more lighthearted and the day to day stress of owning a business. But I didn't really know how that was going to fuel my fire in terms of like giving back
Yeah.
and pulling other business owners to want to be a part of it, right?
Yep.
It was more going to be the fun thing you listen in the car and it just kind of right like background noise, but
Yes.
it didn't have the same meaning. So I was kind of sitting on that and it just wasn't feeling right. And then I played into the Be Bold campaign, and I was almost going to use it as a slogan for Merlot Moon. And then I decided, you know what, I actually think I can build something bigger out of this.
Yes.
And that's when I decided to kick it into high gear with the podcast and the storytelling. There was more of a story to it for me than just the nine to
Yeah.
wine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love that. And it's the launch party was very cool. If you didn't get to go, I think you have a lot online about it because there is an Instagram for Be Bold, right?
Yep. Yep. There is.
Yes. So
Yep.
of course,
And
of course there is. When your when your social
when you're
campaign
a
is
marketing
fueled
company.
by a marketing company, there is definitely an Instagram.
Yeah. And it's on our website as well. We've got a specific page for the website where you can learn more about like what we're doing. It's tied to our Merlot Moon, but it's got its own page.
Yeah.
You can see the sweaters. You can order a sweater on the site. You can read more about our podcast that's launching and how to get involved. So the
Yes.
podcast is launching at the end of April. And then in May, we're looking to do workshops and seminars where people can come learn. We're going to have guest speakers talk about their businesses, how they got started, do some interactive Q&A, and really kind of just
Amazing.
get into the community that way. So that will be coming soon. That's a great way for people to get involved as well. If they've got a cool story or want to run a seminar, then we're all ears on that front. But yeah, it's coming together. I'm really excited. We've kind of taken it slow over the first 3 months to make sure we do it right. But
Yeah.
even at that, I've had incredible feedback and lots of involvement. So our launch party, I mean, you were there, but I cried like 3 times, and I'm not a public crier, let alone crier, but it was very emotional. Like I had family there. My aunt, my mom came. I had clients of all types. I had clients from Toronto come and visit. It was really
Yeah.
cool. So I think speaking up there in front of all these faces, what did it for me when people ask like, why'd you cry? What did it for me was just like, I knew everybody in that room so well. And it wasn't just like, and they were clients, but they were felt like friends. Like it really felt like family in that room. And that's what kind of got me choked up. And I knew everybody in that room some way in their own unique way associated with Be Bold. Like everybody there has made a bold decision, and I think that's what's really cool about it for me to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, our podcast intro is actually done and ready. I'm excited to launch it and show it because we've really worked hard on the editing, but it is all footage from the launch party. So you'll be able to kind of see what we did at the launch and some cool activities that we
Yeah.
did and just kind of
Love
see the
that.
room full of people that are making this a
Yeah.
reality.
Love this. Okay, so we talked about the hoodies. Now you can buy a hoodie so that you can wear
Yeah.
the comfortable hoodie, but why is that like how does buying a hoodie help?
So the proceeds go back. So back to like our mission statement when I was sitting down with the center and exact, so we never lost track of where we were going with this. It's really two buckets. Like we want to fill these two buckets. One is raising the funds. So for us to really be able to make a difference, like the charity. So it's like I don't want to be quoted on it, but I want to say it's like 11,000 women in London use this facility in a year. Like it's a
Wow.
lot of
Okay.
people through that door, and those are local, just local London. So it's on York, and I can't remember the side street, but it's down by Western Fair is where their head office is and their resource center is. And it's like, um, it's crazy. Like it's crazy the amount of women that we know that are using this. That and there's a lot of women that we do know that are using it that we don't know are using it, and it hits home for a lot of personal reasons. And I think that that's why the funding is so important. That's why the sales of the hoodies, and we need to make sure that they have the funds to support these people, get them off the streets, give them the resources they need, and get them into a safe space,
Yes.
and provide them safe meals and whatever they use the funds for, right, are vital resources for these
Yes.
people. So that's part of why we are looking into the merch and making this a fundraising campaign. And then the other piece is, so that's bucket one, and the other bucket that we're filling here is awareness. So not just cutting the check at the end of the year, and just giving them the funds, but we really want people to wear the hoodies, people to start recognizing it in a superstore or wherever, and kind of
Yes.
saying, what is that? It is a bold hoodie. It's a bold statement, right? I
Yes.
get a lot of people. I was in Montreal for work, and actually the lady, and she was a bartender at one of the pubs that we were eating at, and she came right over and said, like, what is this Be Bold? This is so cool. So we're starting to get recognized just because it is like a very cool graphic, I think.
Yes.
And that's the idea of the hoodie specifically, is it's obviously wearable promo for the social campaign, but the funds also go
Absolutely.
back. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the idea with the hoodies.
Amazing, amazing. And okay, so if someone wants to get involved, so they can go to the Instagram, check it out. They can buy the hoodie. How can they get involved in other ways? So you said this, so the podcast is going to come out. You have the
Yep.
first six sponsors. If someone wanted to become a sponsor in the future, how does that work?
They would contact me directly, and we would chat about just why they're aligned. Like for me, that's very important to make sure that they're aligned with the cause. I feel like I really dove into our six core sponsors that we have right now, that I'm sure will want to renew and stay a part of this some way, somehow. So the more fundraising we can get, the better. So the more sponsors that want to come on, if they're aligned, then that's fantastic for the whole cause.
Yeah.
Coming on as a sponsor does include making sure that your mission and your values are aligned. You are an ambassador of the Be Bold and of the London Abused Women Center. So it's very important that checks out.
Yeah.
If we're talking sponsorship, like monthly sponsorship for the podcast and for the campaign, otherwise like donations at hoc, whatever that looks like too, to just
Wonderful.
support
Okay.
us are awesome. And then yeah, leading into the mastermind, I'm going to drop, once the podcast is fully underway, I'm going to drop more information about the masterminds and what that looks like. So if there's any like business owners, or not doesn't even have to be business owners, but people with a cool story that want to speak at some of these
Yeah.
masterminds and donate their time to be a guest, and even venues, like anything. There's so many ways. People don't realize there's so many ways to get involved. So like I could sit here for hours and list things that would help. But that's really it. It's just sending the email,
Amazing.
connecting, seeing if it's something that we can tie together. So
Yeah. And I think you're very good. Like, if someone wants to reach out and they don't even know how to get involved, I think you can kind of dig in with them in a conversation or a meeting on what the best
mhm.
way for them to be involved. Maybe it's getting more awareness in their own network or something like
Yeah,
that. Amazing.
absolutely.
Fantastic. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, so what is the actual name of the Instagram is
BeBold.LDN London. So
okay, bebold.ldn.
yeah, Be
And
Bold
yeah, the
London.
hoodies are so regardless, like if you want, we have a lot of like supporting local. This is a Canadian London
Yeah.
like initiative. So it's a fantastic way to support and to show that you support the community too.
hmm
We're so
Yeah. And
excited to be part of it.
yeah, just even we've had so many people send photos and selfies, and I'm like behind in posting because there's so many people that are sending pictures of them in the hoodies. And I think it's a great way to like, well, now my marketing hat's on, but to
Maybe there's a
collaborate, right?
hashtag.
And grow your, yeah, like collaborate on it, share, get involved, right? Like,
Yeah.
I know how much social campaigns and being a part of the community has actually propelled my business hat and my marketing company. So it's like,
Yeah.
for me, it's so cool to watch other businesses no matter what, right? Like we've got like accounting, lawyers, um, beauty, artists, like all the different industries,
Yes.
and supporting your community will always align to your
Yes.
business core, right? Like to me,
Yes.
that's where we actually do all connect. That's where we connect as people, not even just business owners. So,
Yes.
yeah, I
It's
think
so
it's
true.
important.
So true. And I think one of the things a lot of us are doing, we were talking about this right before we started recording, really figuring out, is what you're doing aligning with your passion, and is it filling up your cup? Exactly.
Yeah,
And if it's not, here's the thing. There's like, unfortunately, we live in a world where you could literally have every minute of your day scheduled, every
yeah,
minute without 1 minute of freedom. And if it's something that you're passionate about, that you feel like you're really supposed to be doing, you're making an impact, then absolutely green light. But if you're doing something because you think you're supposed to do it, um, it maybe, but right, but it's just, it really, you're not going to be your best self for
yeah.
your clients, for your family, for anyone, unless you're doing the things that really light you up.
Yeah, 100%. And I've sensed it in myself in the last year for sure, of just like when I am down or feeling burnout or feeling like getting that self-doubt, like it's the thing that lifts me up is like actually going to a networking event or going to a charity event. Like I just hearing that story like refills the cup for me every time. And like even if it's on a personal, like take away the business, but if I'm having like a personally bad day, like I'll go get a coffee and just like smile at the Tim Hortons lady. And like to me, if you can dive into those small moments, it just makes like it puts it into perspective of like, okay, your client being upset or whatever, like it's not the end of the world. And it like
Yes,
it brings me back. It brings me back
yes,
every time to just do right. And I think that's why Be Bold was so important for me to start, because it's the part that balances out the day-to-day hustle of owning a marketing company and the nitty-gritty, the admin, the payroll, like all of that. The Be Bold balances that out for me of just like, if I can do this, it's for something better and bigger.
yes,
And this is my something better and bigger. This is my something that
yep.
is going to help someone else. Right. So
And sometimes that bold decision is to just even to take a minute and realize, like, as an entrepreneur, we talk about this a lot. A lot of us feel, right or wrong, that we're all wearing these like superhero capes, but
yeah,
we can control some things. We can't control everything. And
yeah,
so if something bad happens, sometimes that bold decision is just to really like step back and say, this is what I can control. I'm going to be my best me for everything I can control.
yeah,
Everything else, I'm not going to let that affect things, because really, like, this is all you have as an entrepreneur. So if you let it fall off the rails, that
yeah.
doesn't help either.
Yeah. And that's exactly why it's Be Bold. And I said it in my speech at the launch party about like, if your Be Bold decision is to stay home and be a mom and run the household and
Yeah.
take care of 5 kids and not work, like that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's your bold decision, right? Because you're actually almost in this day and age going against like society now. Because now we
Yeah.
flipped it about like, hey, moms should actually work and do the household and do all the things, right?
Yep.
Like who is anybody to tell you what your bold choice is? It's your bold choice,
Exactly.
and that's what it
Exactly.
is. And that's what we're supporting in doing this. It's yes, it's funded by business owners. Yes, there's business owners speaking on the couch to tell their stories at this point in time. I'm not opposed to having a survivor of domestic abuse come and speak and tell their story. Like that's a bold
100%.
decision. That's a bold story. So that's really what it's about. We're honing in on our sponsors right now to kick this thing into high gear and create that resource hub for people,
Yeah.
because these are strong individuals that have the resources to give to other people right now, and that's why it's the start of the whole thing. But I definitely see it just being a mosaic of different cool stories in our community of just things that people have said, like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to go live in the Muskokas in a tent for, I don't know. And that's your bold decision.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear about that because that's really cool that you were able to just go, this is what makes me happy. This is what I'm going to do. And this is how I'm going to do it. And then hopefully someone else growing up has that same goal. They've now got a propelled way of getting there without having to hopefully go through all of the trouble that you did. And that's the idea,
Yeah.
right? Is someone wants to come and start a marketing company or a social media company, like I can provide them some help to the growing pains that I
Yes.
started. And that's
And it's
why,
like a mentor type thing, right? Or
yeah,
modeling your business after someone else. And it
yeah,
really does. Like, we're in an age of such technology, so many resources, and there so many that it can be overwhelming. So having someone to guide the way and kind of light that path is a really big deal.
Yeah. And I'll go back to like right when we started this episode of just like it does get lonely, it does get difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to like lean on friends and family because they don't own a business where the stress doesn't seem, I don't want to say as valued, but it's challenging to explain to others. So this community is about building a community. So you've got a place to go when you feel you're about to burn out, and you've
Yeah.
got people that have done it, gone through it, and can support you through it. And kind
Yep.
of like an AA meeting. Like this is your check-in call. Like
Yeah.
we've done it how many times with each other, right? Where I'm
Yep.
like, oh, you're gonna get an unfiltered phone call right now, but you're
Yep.
my person to do it with, and let's do it
Yeah.
and move on so
100%.
we can
Love
get
it.
back to business. But
And it's so
I think people
helpful.
who shove that and pretend like it's a walk in the park, like I also think I put in that post, I'm going back to it, but like the most successful people just failed more. Like they got up and tried again, right? They've
Yep.
tried more than you've ever tried. Like
Oh yeah.
forget what the actual quote is, but it's just about success. And like when you see a successful person, and I was in that mindset for a lot of years, if I just thought like must be nice, must be cool, like no, like it is hard work, and
Yeah.
it is a lot of those late night phone calls like I am going to quit, but it's just finding your people that are like no you're not, and then you
Yeah.
believe that you're not going to again too, right? So
Exactly. Exactly. And it really does take passion. And the thing is, like, and I really think sometimes as women and as entrepreneurs, we really have to be a little bit more kind to ourselves because I think our
yeah,
expectations are sometimes so crazy. But at the same time, it's that passion that also makes us successful. So
yeah,
it's a crazy life, this entrepreneur life.
yeah, it's a balance. It is absolutely a balance. I am in my personal life right now. I'm very much, and like personal and business. Like I say, personal life or business life. Like let's be honest, when you're an entrepreneur, they're the whole thing. I like to try to say that they're different, but they're not. It right now I'm very much focused on in personal relationships, I guess, like friends and family, people that I don't do business with.
Yeah.
Very much focused on like celebrating the small wins, because in the first 2.5 years, I was very much on to the next thing, and I'm coming to admit that now. So it's about yeah, setting the next goal and doing the next best thing, but learning
Yes.
to like appreciate life is short. The last 2.5 years of my life owning a business have flown by.
Yes.
And it's important to make sure that like you're celebrating those small wins too.
Absolutely. And also to know that one thing that people don't talk about is that when you do reach a milestone, when you reach a goal, there's actually a disappointment that comes with it because you're so fueled by the journey. And then and that's why the celebrating is so important because you're like, okay, here I am. But now
Now what? Now
the
what?
journey's over. Now
Yeah.
what? Exactly. Exactly. Oh, I got
Yeah.
tingles from that. No, exactly. And
Well, it's
then,
like parenting too. Like you're like, you've got these kids, you're so through the journey, and then all of a sudden you're stuck with an empty nest and you're like, oh, now what? And that's where a lot of people like,
yeah,
start to question what now my like now I don't have as much energy. Well, yeah, because you were putting forward so much energy to raise your
yes,
family. So
yeah,
I think it's the same idea when you're goal setting like we do as business owners. Like you've got to find that balance of achieving the goal, celebrating the
yeah.
goal, and then kind of rechecking to set the next one. But
100%. 100%. This
mhm.
is so great. Mackenzie, thank you so much. I want to say, like, I'm so excited for you in this initiative. I'm so excited to be part of it.
Mhm.
Um, but also just to have the community be able to really um, be able to support your initiative and for the London Abused Women Center to have even more community support
Yep.
because of all the work that you're doing. It's just, yeah, I think it's just, it warms my heart. And I'm so excited to see all the things that you will do.
I'm excited. I'm excited to reverse couch and ask you the questions next. So it'll be awesome. So stay tuned, everybody, for that.
Remember
It
how
is my
kind I
first
was?
time interviewing people. So I'm like, I'm going to go
Oh,
right for it. I think that's my
you're
approach.
gonna crush it. It is honestly, it is a conversation. It's like, I
Yeah.
mean, I think anyone who, because of all with an entrepreneur, we have so many meetings, they're all practices. So it's
Yeah,
not,
they are.
yep, 100%.
This was my
Okay,
practice.
so yeah, there you go. So okay, so bebold.ldn on Instagram. Reach out to
Yep.
Mackenzie if you would like, if you want a hoodie so that you can donate and rep an amazing brand, but also have a really cozy hoodie.
Hmm.
You can donate money. You can potentially donate time. I know we didn't touch on
Yep.
it as much, but you can learn more about workshops as they come, masterminds.
Yep.
Um, and just, yeah, thank you so much, Mackenzie. And then, side note, if you need an amazing marketing company, Merlot Marketing, we use them. I love Mackenzie, and her team does an amazing job. You can check out my actual Instagram. If you notice in the last quite, I don't know, year or so, it's been looking a little more professional. It wasn't me. But no,
It's
it's
you. It's totally you.
great.
You're
It is
it's
me.
totally you.
It is
But
me.
yes,
But
we help
instead of
launch it
just like
and give it
there's
some
more
order.
less chaos, less chaos. It looks more organized, and that's the thing, right? Having someone who can really take a look, bird's eye view, and you know what you're
And,
doing, and that's the
yeah.
key. Amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you so much,
I'm so
Mackenzie.
happy we did this. See, and even this,
Yay!
right? Fueled my fire. I'm like ready to go do some big bold stuff now.
100%, 100%. Be bold. Mackenzie Gosselin, thank you so much. And everyone, thanks for listening. Have a great week. Bye.